Making his final late call for the present, the Reverend John Young of Castlehead Church, Paisley. The Reverend Young replaced the late caller originally billed for this week.
Hello, another day away, another week away. I hope you've had a good week. I've been very happy to share these few minutes each night with you while it has gone on. A word from John's Gospel tonight, where Jesus comes to his disciples, but they don't recognize him. They're fishing, and he says to them, "Cast a net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some fish." Cast your net on the right side of the boat. That's the right as opposed to the left, not on the correct side. When I was a wee boy in the south side of Glasgow, I, with my pals, used to use McNeill Street Library, to the staff of which I at least will always be grateful, because they encouraged you to love books. No doubt it's been pulled down long years ago, but there's no helping that. But I wonder if children today still do what we did 40 years ago. We used to follow the lady with the trolley round the library as she stocked up the shelves with books that people had returned. And we followed her round looking for a William book that we hadn't read. Oh, the William books were marvellous. He had the sort of adventures that we might have had if we had had the courage to treat grown-ups the way that he did. I reread one of them recently. William and Ginger are on holiday at the seaside. They borrow a rowing boat. And they set off, rowing away, straight out from the beach. "Wonder where we'll finish up," says William. "You can see France from my bedroom window." The thing goes on, and after a while Ginger gets a wee bit seasick. And then he gets a bit bored. And he said, "Oh, I don't care where we finish up." But William is undeterred. "Wherever we finish up," he said, "I bet it's jolly interesting. I bet it's jolly interesting." One of his catchphrases, a phrase that struck terror into the hearts of adults who heard him say it, because it was usually a prelude to some sort of disaster in which he was involved. But that attitude, this "I bet it'll be interesting," is what lies behind our story for tonight. Jesus is dead, and his disciples have gone to Galilee to wait for him. And this is one of his resurrection appearances that we hear of tonight. They have gone back to their work to wait for Jesus to come and tell them what is to be done. They work all night, they haven't taken a fish. Stranger on the shore shouts, "Try the other side of the boat." And they do, and take a haul of fish. And they took it because they were willing to try the other side of the boat. They were willing to recognize that there is another side to the boat. And we know what's going on here. I was speaking the other night about monotony and about routine. Now we know that it's when we vary our routine that we can be stimulated. When we try something different, even if it's only just taking a different road home from our work perhaps, or trying a different way to cook the vegetables to go with the mince. When we try something different, then there is some stimulation for us. These men were waiting for Jesus to come as he had said he would. And he came and said, "Try the other side of the boat." It's like a parable, because they tried the different and something good happened. That's the way it is in Christianity, and the book of the Acts confirms it. Jesus doesn't call people into drabness or into uniformity. He offers life that is abundant, and he calls you and me into life that is full and overflowing and exciting. And these men in our story, he sent them out, and they went like William in his boat, not knowing where they were going, but convinced that wherever they landed up, it would be interesting. And it was. Thank you for letting me into your homes this week. Good night.
Well, it's It's now 26 and a quarter minutes past 12, and that's where we come to the end of your Saturday night programmes. 'Tis but a few hours to sun up, and you'll be able to get out into the garden bright and early. I was sitting in my garden at 5 o'clock this morning. I know nobody around here believes me, but it's absolutely true. I had to sit in the garden for an hour or so waiting for TVAM to start at 6. Well, if you're up at 5 tomorrow, you'll have an hour and 55 minutes to wait, because on a Sunday, TVAM programmes begin at 6:55 with Good Morning Britain. Our programmes start at 9:25 with Cartoon Time and the Wonderful World of Professor Kitzel. And if you are as heavily into cartoons as I am, you must make a special note that the Glenn Michael Cavalcade tomorrow is not at its usual time. It is indeed much earlier, at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. And if you have small people in the house who are addicted to Glenn Michael, maybe you ought to tell them about that at breakfast time. Well, I'll be back with you tomorrow night, but now let's take a look together at all the programmes that we can enjoy on STV on Sunday. Incidentally, if you're really keen, we start showing the test card at 5:15 in the morning. But Radio 4 doesn't start until 6 o'clock, when Ken Haynes is along with Ken's Den. There's news at 8, followed by View from Earth with Anne Pagan. And at 8:30 on Radio 4, Alex Shuttleworth is back with Solid Gold Sunday. Radio Clyde doesn't show the test card, but it has music all night. And All Right All Night tonight is presented by Shagan and Mark Goodyear. At 6 o'clock there's news, followed by Jim Simon's Sunday Show. And these are the programmes you can enjoy on your local independent radio services. Well, Channel 4 programmes continue for ages and ages and ages, so if you want to retune, you'll find all sorts of things going on there. But if you're going to switch off now, well, please don't forget to switch off your television set and, for safety's sake, disconnect it from the mains for the night. From all of us here, good night.